In this package, Governor Dom Emmanuel reaffirms Akwa Ibom State a stronghold of People's Democratic Party. AKBC talent hunt ends in Iyo and moves to Korefene. Details of these and more in a moment. A very good morning to you. Welcome to KBC 45 News. My name is Agnes Udo King Brown. We sincerely apologize for bringing the news behind schedule due to technical reasons. Thanks for bearing with us. Governor Dom Emmanuel has assured the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party that Akwa Ibom State still remains a stronghold of the party. Mr. Dom Emmanuel gave the assurance when he played host to the People's Democratic Party National Working Committee, which visited him at the government's office, Uyo. At Government House Bureau Chief Colonel Edemefre to report that the acting national chairman of the party, Mr. Uche Secondus, led the National Working Committee on a solidarity visit. The report.
The visitors who came in from the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party to commensurate with the state governor over the state invasion of the government house, Governor Dom Emmanuel said the party was still in control of the state and that its membership strength has not been shaken. Mr. Dom Emmanuel, who described Akwa Ibom as a major component of the party, informed the People's Democratic Party leadership that in the spirit of the party, he has since moved beyond politicking into good governance in pursuance of development that the state is known for. Observing that the nation's economy was a developing one, and so it has a developing democracy, the governor said it would thrive if allowed to run on a multi-party structure as supported by the People's Democratic Party with good governance as its focus rather than play on triviality of partisanship. He thanked the Uche Secondus National Working Committee for the visit which he observed gives him a sense of belonging, saying the state is proud of the national chairman even as he commended him for his good leadership style.
We thank you for today. We also believe that you're there for us as we are here for you, because we must be here for you as you're there for us. We rest assured all the people you see here in Akwa Ibom are standing firm by this party, no shaking. No matter what happens, every single PDP member you see here is intact. Here you move freely, things are working well, PDP is in control, PDP is in charge. Hardly before you see any other party challenging that dominance of PDP here.
Speaking earlier, the People's Democratic Party acting national chairman, Mr. Uche Secondus, said the team was in the state on a solidarity visit to demonstrate their support to the governor on the state invasion of the government house by the men of the Directorate of State Security, DSS. Mr. Secondus, who described the act as a coup d'etat, barbaric, and assault to the state and to democracy, said the party condemns it, adding that the entire country should join in condemning the act. The party chairman, who observed that the country needed to stabilize to move forward, explaining that is why People's Democratic Party didn't go to court after the election despite noted cases, said the invasion was against the law and would not help for the progress of the state, while calling on the president to set up a judicial panel to investigate into the invasion. He assured the governor of God's support to enable him succeed.
We're here to stand by you and the good people of Akwa Ibom State of what happened barely 2 weeks ago on the invasion of the government house by DSS. We want to encourage you that we'll be law-abiding. Our people should respect the law and the rule of law in the face of this provocation.
Also speaking, the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Obong Paul Ekpo, said the party in the state is not distracted by whatever has happened, as God's decision which made Mr. Dom Emmanuel the governor is what is upheld by the people. Obonpolepo thanked the national body for the solidarity visit and assured that the state leadership was committed to preserving the governor's mandate.
And today, once again, the national leadership of our party has come to show that solidarity and to remind all the detractors that they can never, no matter the intimidation, no matter their planning, it is fruitless. You were the choice of God, and that was confirmed by the people of Akwa Ibom State.
The National Organizing Secretary Alhaji Abubakar Mustafa and the Publicity Secretary Sir Olise Mechu formed part of the team. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
Participants of AKBC Promise Hunt held yesterday in Ikorekpene Senatorial District have been advised to develop their God-given talents so as to earn a living from such talents. The Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Netu Pe, gave advice while declaring open the AKBC Promise Hunt for people in the Ikorekpene Senatorial District. Livingstone Daniel reports is here presented.
Ikorekpene Council Hall, venue of the event, was filled to capacity with management and staff of the corporation, spectators, and the contestants who were eager to showcase their hidden potentials. Declaring the event opened, the Director General of the AKBC, Pastor Netu Pe, said, part of the social responsibility of the AKBC is to give back to the society. Hence the decision to organize the Promise Hunt competition to discover hidden talents among Akwa Ibom youths and showcase them to the world. Represented by the Director of Marketing, Elder Ito Opanya, Pastor Pe reminded the contestants that every world stars did make mistakes when they started and urged them not to be afraid to make mistakes when trying to display their talents, noting that it will be corrected and fine-tuned by the judges, whom he described as very knowledgeable in the competition. The Director General further told the contestants that those who perform well will be selected to Uyo for a rehearsal before the grand finale on a date that will be announced. Pastor Pe reaffirmed that the winner of the AKBC Promise Hunt will go home with a brand new car and tasked them to take the competition seriously.
On Tuesday next week, when we must have finished our ticket, we will invite all of you to Uyo for what we call the rehearsal before the grand finale. So if you are lucky to be picked today, you will come and show us, because those that are going to be picked today, at the rehearsal, we will still drop more people. So you have to put up your best to come up tops in this competition.
Addressing the contestants on the rules of the game, the head of judges, Professor Wemedi Motako, said the contestants will be judged using various variables such as stage control and management, visual texture, eye contact, body movement, and the actual performance. Professor Tagbo, who is a professor of theatre art in the University of Uyo, said the judges will be fair and firm and advise the contestants to keep to time allotted to them.
We are going to be very fair, but we are going to be very firm. Whatever you do, in the 3 minutes, you must do it right. You must do it well.
Some of the contestants took part in music, dancing, ballad, comedy, acting, and entertainment.
56 up-and-coming artists participated in the Youth Zone Talent Promise Hunt competition organized by the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, AKBC. The event, which is AKBC's contribution to activities marking Akwa Ibom State creation anniversary, is aimed at encouraging up-and-coming indigenous artists. Ebuka Okafo tells us more.
Competition. 33 participants contested in the music category, 4 in drama, 6 in dance, 2 in arts, 5 in ballad, 1 in xylophone, 3 in comedy, 1 in stunts, and 1 in poetry. During the competition, a JSS 3 contestant held the audience spellbound in ballad presentation. At the end of the competition, those recommended for the next round of the hunt will be competing with contestants from other zones. In the music category, 18 contestants scaled through the next stage, 4 contestants in dance, 1 in stunt riding, 1 in arts, 1 in ballad, 2 in comedy, 2 in acting, and finally 1 in xylophone. The Director of Marketing AKBC, Elder Etop Apanya, appreciated the efforts of all the participants and lauded their God-given talent.
I want to assure you that the next outing will be better than today, and the grand finale will be bigger and better than today. I want to assure you that this event is going to be a yearly event, and we are learning. We learn very fast this year. By next year, we will start early enough, and we'll do all the things we need to do. We will groom you, we'll do everything to make sure that you come out tops.
Certificates were presented to all the participants in appreciation for their participation. Ebuka Okafor, reporting.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Mrs. Stella Victor Sa, has tasked members of the Youth Church of Christian Fellowship Evangelical Nigeria to remain committed in spreading the gospel of Christ. Mrs. Osawu stated this when she received deacons and deaconesses of the church, urged them to be actively involved in evangelism. The Permanent Secretary insisted that display of good conduct and behavior would also assist in the propagation of the gospel, since those who carry the message of Christ are seen as light bearers in the society. She knows that the Word of God brings life, shapes individuals for better, and helps people surmount life challenges. Mrs. Osa reminded the group of the need to work towards inculcating good morals and scriptural standards on the people.
It's an island. We try to help each other in our own little ways. I want to thank God for this position. It was not by my might nor by my power. It is just the grace of God.
In an address, Deaconess Atamudo thanked God for elevating one of their own, Deaconess Stella Osa, to the position of a permanent secretary. She referred to Mrs. Stella Osa as a virtuous woman with a heart of gold, who has impacted on the youth, women, and the elderly in the church. Deaconess Udo commended the oneness and love exhibited by the Osa's family in developing the body of Christ and prayed God to bless them.
This body of God's people believes you to be the virtuous woman that the Bible made descriptions of, and most of all, we describe you as the Esther of our time, whom God has lifted the scepter of the king, favor, and set apart, a rare gem, anointment with a rare fragrance.
During the verses, the group presented her with a portrait and formally inducted her into the group by presentation of the wrapper to the permanent secretary. The news continues after the break. Stay with us.
Rise to the faith of greatness. Rise to the faith that with God all things are. People, not biases, and to together. Rise for Carbomite from God. That without for he who promised, arise, the faith that Carbom was great. I am an Carbomite.
I rise.
Metakanda.
Us on the 23rd, 15th at the God's Will International Stadium as our state of
Back. As private and public schools in the state resume for a new school session, the head of civil service, Cecilia Odoisian, has enjoined stakeholders in the education sector to assist teachers, pupils, and students achieve a hitch-free and impactful school year. The head of civil service also assured teachers in the public schools of prompt settlements of all outstanding payments. Mrs. Odoisian, who stated this during a chat with media men in their office, explained that all contending issues including promotion arrears, leave grants, and payments of 7.5% contributory pension deductions, which is already ongoing, is currently being attended to. She directed all school heads and education secretaries to ensure that adequate and correct accounts details of teachers in their respective local education authorities are forwarded to the Contributory Pension Refund Committee through her office to ensure timely treatment of all outstanding complaints arising from the exercise. She encouraged all stakeholders and teachers, who she referred to as the nation builders, not to relent in their commitment to the bringing of children entrusted in their care. The Children Ministry of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Conference, last weekend undertook an excursion to the Bom E-Library in Uyo. They were received on arrival by the staff of E-Library, Mr. Emeka Okafor, who conducted them around facilities of the E-Library.
Here for browsing, maybe as like a cyber cafe where you can just come, you buy time, and you can surf the internet. So if you want to do your assignment, you want to search for any information on the internet, you can come over here. So we also use here for exams. We have online exams. We just concluded aptitude test for the University of Uyo. They wrote their aptitude test exam right here.
Primary and secondary schools in different districts of the church and the states, which include Uyo, Itu, Uran, Ndonebum, Ibesipo, and Oron. The administrative assistant to the Bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the Reverend Freke Payon, who accompanied the children on the visit, commended the state government for putting up the edifice, which he described as a learning theatre for the people of the state and beyond. Highlights of the visit were visible recitation and quiz by children from different districts of the church.
How did God describe His creation? A. Glorious. B. Magnificent. C. Very good. D. Good. E. None of the above.
Very good.
Very good. 2 points.
The National Council member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Joshua Suko, has called for cooperation between members of the Institute and the state government in revenue generation. Mr. Suko has spoken at the dinner he hosted in appreciation of the members' support towards his election into the body's National Council. He said that the Institute would assist government in revenue generation in view of the downturn of the economy. The National Council member encouraged members to update themselves in contemporary taxation issues to equip them for the tax ahead. He said that the Chartered Institute of Taxation has established a taxation academy to help boost expertise, adding that various windows available in the academy will build the professional capacity of members.
And accounting has now diversified to an area where taxation is now going to be a course, not a subject. But I enjoy every one of us to sit up and make sure that as we normally do our things with the style, we should be able to share. So I want to congratulate every one of us here, because come January 2016, we are going to have the first zonal conference.
This morning, you can also watch your KBC TV News online by logging on to kbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at KBC45. We are on Facebook at KBC Channel 45. Before we go, a look at the major stories. Governor Dom Emmanuel has reaffirmed that Akwa Ibom State is a stronghold of the People's Democratic Party. He said this when he received the national leadership of the party, who were in the state in a solidarity visit. That is in our package this morning. Our next bulletin comes up at noon. Until then, stay on our Nigeria programs. Very good morning to you.